Hello there. When I invited Howie Jacobson to come over here and run a day in London, one of the things that he said he was going to talk about was Freud. Freud, you know, Dr. Freud, psychology, sex and all that sort of thing. Well, here's what Howie said when I asked him about the role of Dr. Freud on that day, early in October, when I hope you'll join us.
So you may have seen on the description of the workshop an exercise called Dear Dr. Freud. So maybe you're wondering what Dr. Freud has to do with online marketing and AdWords. And it's basically this. All objections are based on fears that are based on prior experiences, either yours or those that you've heard about from others. So we're going to be Dr. Freud, and we're going to we're going to dig for, ask for, beg for objections from other people. Everything they could think of from their own experience that could translate into why they would be hesitant to take you up on your offer, whether that's signing up for your email list, whether that's getting requesting a quote, whether it's buying the product, whether it's getting in the car and visiting, all the reasons that someone would hesitate to do that based on their prior experience or their understanding of someone else's prior experience. And most of the time we think objections are terrible. We hate them. We wish they wouldn't ask them when we get uncomfortable. And in fact, objections are the best thing that could ever happen to your business. And there's only two kinds of objections. There are true objections and erroneous objections. True objections save us a lot of time. If I'm looking for a point-and-shoot camera that can fit in my pocket and you show me an EOS Rebel, and I say, no, it has to fit in my pocket, then you say, great, we're done here, you need something else. Objection has done its job, and you're not trying to force feed me something that's not going to serve me. Erroneous objections are, well, it's made of plastic, it's not going to be very sturdy. Well, but this is a different kind of plastic. And at that kind of objection, you want to discuss and debunk. But what people do when they hear that objection is they typically jump in too quickly without listening, without understanding, without really understanding what the basis of the objection is, what's the question behind the question, what's really important. And what Dr. Freud, the exercise, teaches us to do is basically shut our mouths and listen and notice when we start to jump in and override our prospect before we've really given them a chance to express themselves. One of Stephen Covey's 7 habits of highly effective people is first seek to understand, then to be understood. And Dr. Freud is a very hands-on activity for doing two things, for both generating all those objections, and once you have the objection, it's either true or it's erroneous, you can deal with it. But even more importantly, perhaps, is the habit that it creates in marketers and salespeople to listen deeply to the objections without trying to steamroll them in advance.